The Miami Dolphins improved to 7-3. They beat the Raiders yesterday by a touchdown. Jalen Ramsey, your MVP of the game, he had 2 INTs.
So Dolphins opened yesterday as 7-point favorites in New York against the Jets. Now, that was before Tim Boyle was announced as the quarterback. I don't know if that line has changed. I will take a look.
Wilson, Boyle.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it would change.
No.
But crazier things have happened.
You could start at quarterback. Line to be
That's
7.
Zach Wilson. I mean, that is a bad offense.
His highlight that they started with was him trying to talk to the coach and jog on and fall down.
He fell backwards.
Hawk, just come on, man. They miss on quarterbacks. I'm telling you, this dude is a miss.
9.5 now. Dolphins minus 9.5.
Zach Wilson's worth 2.5 points.
I don't think it was Zach Wilson. I just think that the Dolphins were getting hammered. They were. Now, I will tell you this, Hard Rock bet, they tweeted out yesterday, 99% of bets on the Dolphins game yesterday was Dolphins minus 13-14, wherever you got the line. 99% of the bettors.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you hear fade the public. It would have worked yesterday on the Dolphins game, but the line has been bet up to Dolphins minus 9.5.
Oh, it kind of goes back. It's funny that OG was saying that where I called it a lull this time of year, but like the Lions-Bears game, you never thought it would be that close.
Yeah.
Dolphins-Raiders, you never thought it would be that close. It's kind of where you kind of figure it out. You know, you have to adjust that plan B OG talks about. So it makes a lot of sense.
I think the Friday game, this is going to be weird. I mean, this is a short week. They got to travel up to New York. It is Thanksgiving, too. Like, as much as you want to feel like players are robots or whatever, they do have families. Not that they're going to be with them for Thanksgiving, but they do have families and kids, and people are off for the holidays, and people want to do stuff for the holidays. Like, to me, interesting scenario Friday in New York.
And it's to that point, Hawk, it's an advantage to be playing away on Thanksgiving.
You know what? I think you're right.
Because the Jets are at home still, so their parents and cousins and aunts are in their house messing with them. They're over there prepping food and all that stuff. Where I remember we played Detroit on Thanksgiving, which is weird. You're right. Like, it's a different game. It honestly is a different game playing on Thursday night and Thanksgiving. But having that 24 hours of normality of being in the hotel and traveling with the team does help. And the schematic side of it, Hawk, the damn Jets defense is good. So we're not going into just run through nobody like the Denver Broncos game. Like, the Jets defense can play.
Gave up 30 or more points yesterday to the Bills, who fired their offensive coordinator.
Well, now you know why.
But that's an advantage. Now you
know why. Now the offense is humming.
Jets didn't know what the hell they were getting.
It was obviously he was holding them back.
All Josh Allen's passes were 6 feet. I was watching the highlights. It's like, damn, all he's doing is throwing to the flat.
Since we brought up Tim Boyle and Zach Wilson, Ian Rappaport yesterday, prior to the 1 p.m. kickoffs, he did report that Aaron Rodgers is eyeing a December return, Week 16 being the most likely spot. And he tweeted out, if the Jets are alive and he can protect himself, then Week 16 is what he's eyeing.
Well, listen, if he's as effective as Jalen Ramsey after his surgery, look out, world.
He's going to come back to play 2 meaningless games.
Yeah, I can't imagine that the Jets are going to have any reason to rush him back. Like, no. I again, a little concerned about Friday and
just to do the math. Because I'll just look at 2 divisions: AFC North. The Browns can play. The Steelers are going to win games. The Ravens they're going to win the division. The Dolphins and the Bills are going to fight for the East. Like, there's no more place in the AFC playoff picture.
Right.
I don't know what happened to Hoch here. I mean, you're calling this team elite. You're saying, that they're going to blow out the Raiders. One little close game, and all of a sudden you're giving Tim Boyle a chance to beat the Dolphins in New York. What happened to you?
The thing is, I never called them elite. And the thing about this team is we were trying to figure out what are they. And we were all kind of in agreement, as was the betting public. The line closed at minus 14 yesterday. Everyone thought, okay, it'll go back to form. They beat the hell out of lesser teams. Now, The Raiders, you could make the argument, well, they're a bubble team and they could make a run at the playoffs. Were they 5-6, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this week, based on what I saw yesterday, I don't know if this week leads up to a weird Friday game, because I felt like there was some lag from the bye week yesterday, like some cobwebs, and now you got a short week. You go up to a New York team, they've got nothing to lose. You want to talk about playing with house money? Robert Saleh is playing with Tim Boyle at home Black Friday. The eyes of the football world are on him. He's got nothing to lose. So it's weird to me. They should beat the hell out of the Jets. I mean, beat the snot out of them. Weird week.
If you're as good as we think they are, fine. They're not elite. But if they're in that upper echelon of playoff teams, they don't lose a game to Tim Boyle. So that's where I stand there. Like, you can't lose.
Who the Bills lose to last week?
The Bills lost to the Jets earlier.
Yeah.
But that was week one. That was week one.
They lost like 2 out of 3 to not good teams, Solana. Like I just brought up the Ravens, let the Browns beat them, and the Ravens had historically one of the best defense. They led the NFL in sacks, NFL in yards per game, points per game, and then they let the Browns walk in and whoop them at home.
The Bills lost to the Bengals on the road when Joe Burrow was healthy, and they lost to the Broncos, who look like a different team since the Dolphins put 70 points on them.
Squeaked it out yesterday against the Pastronaut.
Yeah, they've won. I think they've won 4 straight, though.
They have. Yeah. I bet them. Didn't cover.
They were they were.
They started 1-4, and I think they're 5-5.
They're 5-5. They have wins over the Bills. They beat the Chiefs as well. They just beat the Pastronaut and the Vikings, who are a hot team.
Go all the teams. I actually had the list, so I can find it in my notebook. It doesn't matter. All the teams that you respect, the Lions, the Chiefs, the Ravens, all the respected Cowboys, all those respected teams, go back and look at their schedule, and they lost to a bad team.
I'm just telling you, I have a weird vibe for Friday. Not just for the Dolphins, by the way, for the Canes as well.